Hello everyone, nice to see you again. Today we're going to read the story Mouse, Deer and Tiger, a Southeast Asian folk tale. Maybe many of you still don't know what a mouse deer is, so before we start, let's get to know this amazing creature. Mouse deer are common in South and Southeast Asian rainforests. A mouse deer is slightly larger than a domestic cat. Its legs and tail are like a deer's, but its face resembles that of a mouse. It features in many folk tales as a very cunning creature. So, now let's get started. Once upon a time, there lived a cunning mouse deer in a big rainforest. He was so sharp-witted that all the other animals in the rainforest used to come to him with their problems, asking for his advice. So the mouse deer had many friends. However, he also had some enemies. His worst enemy was the ever-hungry tiger. One day, the mouse deer was snoozing in the shade under his favorite tree when the tiger came stalking silently by, hunting for food. The tiger had not eaten for many days, and his stomach was on fire. His eyes lit up when he saw the sleeping little mouse deer. He could hardly believe his luck. Awake, the mouse deer was very fleet of foot and extremely difficult to catch. He was also silver-tongued and had tricked him more times than the tiger cared to remember. But now the tiger could almost taste the delicious morsel waiting for him. He licked his lips, but the very light smack of his tongue against his teeth was all it took to wake the sharp-eared mouse deer. The little animal sprang up, instantly alert. He started in fright at the sight of the tiger's golden eyes staring out at him from the undergrowth, and he leapt away at once. With a roar of frustration, the tiger made a mighty pounce and just managed to grab hold of the mouse deer's hoof. "Aha! Now at last I have you!" The tiger growled delightedly. "And don't even think about trying to talk me out of eating you. You've caught me with your tall tails a million times before, and I'm not going to fall for your trickery again." "Fair enough," said the little mouse deer coolly, although inside he was trembling with fear. "But I'm warning you, once you've eaten me, don't even consider tasting that delicious cake over there." The mouse deer indicated a brown, roughly circular mound nearby, which he well knew was really a pile of monkey poo that had become mixed with some dried leaves. "That's a special cake that belongs to the king himself," the mouse deer continued. "He ordered me to guard it and not let any animals in the forest taste it." "But you weren't guarding it. You were sleeping," snarled the tiger gleefully. "I think I might go and tell the king so he can punish you before I eat you." "Oh, Mr. Tiger, please don't do that," the mouse deer begged. "I'll tell you what. If you don't tell the king that I was sleeping, I will let you try the cake, just a teeny-weeny bit. It must really be delicious if the king wants to keep it all to himself." The tiger's stomach growled and he eyed the special cake greedily. "Just let me walk a few steps away to the river over there," urged the mouse deer. "Then if the king's guards happen to pass by while you are tasting the cake, I can tell them that I was dying of thirst and I really had to go for a drink, and perhaps the king will excuse me." All right, I suppose so," said the tiger, whose brain was befuddled by thoughts of the delicious cake. He released the mouse deer's hoof, and the little creature ran away as fast as he could. Of course, as soon as the tiger bit into the cake, he knew at once he had been tricked. "Blah!" he yelled, spitting out the mouthful. Howling with rage, he sprang away into the rainforest after the mouse deer. The tiger screeched to a halt, when he found the little creature standing next to a wasp's nest. "Now, don't go telling me that's the king's new hat," snarled the tiger. "That's a wasp's nest. I know it is, so don't bother trying to fool me." To the tiger's surprise, the mouse deer gave a little giggle. "The king's new hat?" He chuckled. "Anyone can see it's not the king's new hat, but you can't seriously think it's a wasp's nest." The mouse deer lowered his voice and whispered secretively, "Don't go telling anyone now. It's the king's new drum." "The king's new drum? It doesn't look like one," answered the tiger uncertainly. "That's because it's a special new kind of drum. The king doesn't want anyone to have one but him," announced the mouse deer. "The king doesn't even want anyone else to play this one," he continued. "But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to let you have just one go, Tiger, to prove to you that it really is a drum." "I agree," said the foolish tiger. "You've tricked me so many times that I refuse to believe this really is the king's new drum until I beat it for myself." "Very well," replied the little mouse deer, "but I don't like the sound. It's much too loud for my sensitive ears. Let me stand among those trees over there." "All right," said the tiger, picking up a nearby stick. Of course, the moment that the tiger hit the drum, wasps came buzzing out in an angry swarm and began stinging him all over. "Ow! Ow! Ow!" screeched the tiger, running away as fast as he could to escape the furious insects. In fact, he ran so fast and so far that the cunning little mouse deer never saw him in that part of the rainforest again. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story and see you next time. Goodbye.